Storm De Beul is a young man whose name seemed to foreshadow his destiny. This YouTuber was not afraid to take on the challenges of nature, setting out on a dangerous journey through Lapland, a region where mesmerizing beauty coexists with the merciless elements. Alone and facing a severe snowstorm, Storm fought desperately for his life. But nature proved stronger. Storm quickly gained popularity, becoming a colorful figure in the world of extreme survival, nature exploration, and creating captivating YouTube content. Born and raised in Belgium, he dedicated himself to documenting his risky solo travels. His routes took him through the most remote and inhospitable corners of the planet. Storm was not only an adventurer, but also a talented storyteller who inspired his viewers to go beyond the ordinary, embracing the unique beauty and challenges of nature. However, his tragic end reminds us that behind the charm of nature lies its destructive power. In October 2024, Storm embarked on his final expedition, a survival expedition in extreme conditions. He set out to cross Swedish Lapland, a region famous for its stunning landscapes, endless snow-covered forests, mirror-like frozen lakes, and majestic rocky mountains. The region is known not only for its beauty, but also for its harshness. In winter, temperatures drop to extremely low levels, and unexpected snowstorms turn peaceful solitude into deadly danger. For Storm, this journey was another test of his skills, a chance to share new stories with an audience, and to document his discoveries. He chose a route through Jokkmokk, one of the most remote areas of Lapland, relying only on his knowledge, skills, and a minimum of equipment. He had a light tent, a warm sleeping bag, food supplies, and camera equipment with him. With such a modest set, he set out to meet nature to test himself once again. Throughout his journey, Storm kept in touch with his family and followers. He regularly sent short videos and text messages, showing off the natural environment around him, which was both mesmerizing and dangerous. His confidence and positive attitude were evident in each message. But with each passing day, the weather conditions grew worse. On October 29th, nearing the end of his expedition, Storm was suddenly faced with a sudden change in the weather. What had started as a calm and clear day suddenly turned dark. The sky quickly became covered with thick clouds, and strong winds began to shake the trees. By evening, heavy snowfall began, and the temperature dropped rapidly. This was not just any snowfall, but a harbinger of a severe Arctic storm. Realizing that the situation was becoming dangerous, Storm decided to stop and pitched a tent in a forested area, where it could be sheltered from the wind. For additional protection, he erected a snow barrier around the camp. In one of his short videos for subscribers, he described what was happening. "The snow is falling harder. But don't worry, I can handle it." However, the elements were not going to subside. In his last message to a friend, Storm showed how the wind was flapping the tent and covering the equipment with snow. "It's going to get worse tonight. This is a serious test," he admitted. As night fell, the storm reached its peak. Gusts of wind created a thick curtain of snow that hid everything around. The temperature dropped to -6 degrees. But given the strong wind, it felt much colder, about -20 degrees. Inside his tent, Storm found himself in extremely difficult conditions. The wind pressed hard on its walls, and the snow, piling up outside, made the structure heavier and heavier, threatening to collapse. At night, the tent gave in either under the weight of the snow or under the pressure of the wind. It began to deform. Left with no choice, Storm was forced to leave his shelter. But outside he was met by the furious elements. In Arctic conditions, the cold acts mercilessly. Hypothermia begins to develop at an alarming rate. In such conditions, the human body loses heat faster than it can produce it. To keep vital organs warm, blood is diverted from the extremities. His fingers and toes begin to go numb, followed by the pain of frostbite. Disoriented by the snowstorm, Storm lost his ability to orient himself. His attempts to find shelter or return to the tent were unsuccessful. His face, exposed to the icy wind, was constantly stung by snow particles, further impairing his ability to think clearly. In extreme conditions, hypothermia affects not only the body, but also the mind. A person experiences confusion, loss of coordination and the ability to make rational decisions. This process could have been fatal for Storm, as his strength was leaving him faster and faster. Hypothermia has devastating effects not only on the body, but also on the mind. It causes confusion, slows reactions, limits the ability to think rationally, and in its later stages leads to delirium. Weak and disoriented, Storm at some point lost his balance and fell. Marks on his body indicate that he hit his face on the hard, icy ground, breaking his nose. Bruises on his arms indicate that he tried to cushion his fall. Storm was left completely alone in the howling snow wilderness. Long hours spent in extreme cold had become fatal for him. His body could no longer fight, his breathing became slower. His heart weakened, and his body temperature dropped to the point where survival was impossible. The next morning, rescuers found his body buried in snow near the collapsed tent. The story of Storm De Beul was a true tragedy that shocked his family, friends and fans. This brave man inspired thousands of people with his courage and love for nature. But his death was a reminder that no one is safe from the forces of the elements. This incident once again highlights the need for careful preparation, respect for nature and the understanding that even the most experienced traveler can face a situation in which it is impossible to survive. Storm De Beul dedicated his life to showing people the beauty of our world. However, his last expedition became a tragic reminder that behind this beauty lies a power that cannot be conquered. Storm's death is not just a loss. It is a warning and a lesson. Nature, so mesmerizing with its pristine beauty, remains one of the most dangerous places for a person. It does not forgive mistakes, and its power requires not only respect, but also extreme caution. Wildlife is beautiful and deadly at the same time. Anyone who dares to venture into its depths must be prepared for challenges and understand that no knowledge or skills can guarantee safety. This story should remind anyone inspired by adventure: respect nature, remember its unpredictability, and always approach travel with reasonable caution. Friends, write in the comments what was the main mistake made by Storm De Beul. Was there a chance for salvation? What should have been done to survive in such a dangerous extreme situation? Subscribe to the channel and like it so as not to miss new interesting stories.